Welcome back, everyone, to the smartest year ever, our quest to become the world's greatest conversationalists. My name is Gordy, hello, and this week it's Accidental Genius Week, where we're looking at brilliant breakthroughs that happened totally by mistake. So I was just wondering, how did a glowing screen in a dark room lead to seeing through skin? Like and subscribe if you haven't, so you can keep up every single day. I do this every single day. In 1895, German physicist Wilhelm Röntgen was playing with invisible energy in his lab. He wasn't trying to revolutionize medicine, he was just tinkering, as one does. Specifically, he was testing cathode rays in a Crookes tube, a kind of early vacuum tube. Cathode ray tubes were glass tubes with electrodes at each end, used to study how electric currents behave in a vacuum. When voltage was applied, they produced streams of electrons that could create visible glows on certain screens. To keep light from escaping, he covered the tube with heavy black cardboard. And that's when something weird happened. Even though the tube was sealed, a screen coated in barium platinum-cyanide, sitting several feet away, started to glow. That was not supposed to happen. No light was coming out. No known energy should have reached the screen, but something had. Röntgen, like any good scientist in the middle of an accident, didn't dismiss it. He turned off the lights and he tried again. And the glow returned. He tried different materials, wood, rubber, aluminum. They let this strange energy right through. But thick lead? No. Opaque. And then he held up his hand. On the screen, he could see the bones of his fingers. Not a shadow, but an image. And so he called them X-rays. The X was for unknown, like X radiation. Just like X, I don't know. Throw a random letter in front of it. He didn't understand exactly what the rays were, but he knew what they could do. Within weeks, Röntgen had taken what is now one of the most iconic images in scientific history, his wife Bertha's hand, with the bones perfectly visible and her wedding ring sharply outlined. She reportedly said, "I have seen my own death." But I checked. They both lived into old age, so they didn't x-ray themselves too much. Like, I know a lot of these early people who studied radium or radioactive materials or x-rays, stuff like that, usually met a untimely fate, but not these two. Yes, they did good. They were actually careful. He was like, this is weird. But just like that, the world could suddenly look inside itself. Hospitals took notice. In early 1896, less than 2 months after Röntgen published his findings, doctors in battlefield hospitals were using x-rays to locate bullets. Fractures and foreign objects became diagnosable without cutting a patient open. For the first time, you didn't have to guess what was happening inside your body. You could just look. And Röntgen didn't even try to monetize it. He refused to patent the discovery, believing it should be used freely for the benefit of science and medicine. That's pretty noble. Or should I say, Nobel. He received the very first Nobel Prize in physics ever. First one in 1901. And this was the first year the Nobel Prize was awarded. So he was competing against the field, like everybody that was alive that had done anything cool physically. Physically. Meanwhile, a race began to push x-rays into clinics and labs, and nobody yet understood the dangers, though, is the thing. Exposure was uncontrolled. Radiologists burned their hands. Some early experimenters suffered permanent tissue damage. One of Thomas Edison's assistants even had to have his arms amputated due to prolonged exposure during x-ray research. I imagine being like, hey, why can't you hold it this time, Thomas? Like, let me push the button. I'm always holding it. My arms tingle. There were other side effects too, though. People started selling x-ray proof underwear. Shoe stores offered foot x-rays to check fit. At one point, you could get your head scanned for fun at carnivals. They were loose with it. X-rays became a gimmick, a science toy, and a cultural fascination before anyone really understood how serious they were. Today, we know exactly what they are: high-energy electromagnetic waves with wavelengths shorter than visible light but longer than gamma rays. They're used in medicine, security, astronomy, art restoration. That's a cool one. And all just because Röntgen noticed a glow that wasn't supposed to be there. And it's one of the most famous examples of accidental genius. He wasn't looking for a breakthrough. He was paying attention when something strange happened, and then he had the patience to test, repeat, test, repeat, and ask questions no one else had thought to ask. And his wife was cool with it and didn't tell him to stop skeletonizing things. Quit skeletonizing things, Wilhelm. So there you have it. Röntgen didn't set out to discover the inside of a human body. He just noticed a glowing screen when the lights were off and followed the weirdness. That is not luck, my friends. That is accidental genius. The theme of the week. Go check out all my sources, which can be found in the YouTube description. Please give me a rate, like, subscribe, follow. All that is really helpful. Also, go check out @SmartestYearEver everywhere for that 1-minute version on social media. And in the meantime, stay curious and stay clever on our quest to become the world's greatest conversationalist. More Accidental Genius Week coming at you. I'll see you tomorrow in the smartest year ever.